So more fun with piecewise. We're going to start out with our algebraic solving. So we have 3h of 2. So we need to focus on the set up here of our h's functions and then figure out which domain 2 is a part of. So it's going to be 3 times an answer plus, and then we'll get to g in a minute. So 2 means we need that equal to. So we're going to use 4 times x plus 1 for the value of 2. So 4 times 2 plus 1, and that's going to be 8 plus 1, which gives us 9. So that 9 is going to go in this place. Oops, fancy 9. And then we're going to hang tight for a second. We'll come back. So then our next section is 4 times the output of g of 1. So we're going to go look at our g function, which is the second set in our piecewise. And we need to find which domain 1 works for. So is 1 less than 3 or is 1 greater than or equal to 3? 1 is less than 3. So we're going to use our first function here. And that's x squared plus 2. And our x value is 1. So 1 squared is 1. So 1 plus 2 gives us 3. Now we are not done. We're going to plug that 3 in down here. Now we're going to answer the problem that it asked. So we have to do 3 times 9, which is 27, plus 4 times 3, which is 12. And we're going to add those together because that's what we're supposed to do. That's the operation in between there is addition. And that's going to give us 39. So your answer for 3h of 2 plus 4g of 1 is going to be 39. This is a very EOC style-like question, guys. So make sure if you have questions to reach out. All right, error analysis, everyone's favorite. So f of 5 equals 2 times 5 minus 3. So f of 5 is where we want to focus on first, which function that actually works in. They used it in the first function, but that says if x is less than 5. And 5 is not indeed less than 5. 5 is that equal to 5. So we want to use our second function. And we're going to plug that 5 in. 5 plus 8. So their mistake was choosing the wrong function due to the wrong domain. So 5 plus 8 is going to give us 13. So had they done it correctly, they would have used the second function because our input is 5, and then our answer would be 13. Now down here below, we're trying to match the graph to the function sets, or the different sets of functions to the graph. Honestly, I would use Desmos to double check it, but pay really, 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 really close attention because they're very, very similar. This is another EOC release question. As you can see the word release through there, that's always a good telltale sign. This first set, so negative 2x minus 7 is going to be our negative line. It says when x is less than negative 5. In that case, negative 5, we have an open circle, so that function is perfect. So that means it could either be our A answer at this point, our second answer B, because that's x minus is less than negative 5 here as well. Here is x is less than or equal to negative 5, so that's no good because that would need to be a solid circle. Move into our second function. So this is a negative quadratic, which is indeed what we have here, negative quadratic. Our second is also negative quadratic. This is in vertex form, so we know our vertex is going to be at a negative 2, positive 6, which it is as well. So I would go looking at my domains next. So negative 5 is less than or equal to x, which is less than 0. So it's going to exist between negative 5 and positive 0, or the neutral 0 starts not positive, with a solid circle at negative 5 and an open circle at 0. So negative 5, solid circle, 0, open circle. There's no difference in our first answer and our second answer, so that's not going to help us differentiate. Now, our domain for our third function is x is greater than or equal to 0 for both of them. Solid circle, greater than or equal to 0 is looking good. So now what we have to decide, is this x minus 1 or x, the square root of x, minus 1. And notice that the root bar goes all the way over this guy and not all the way over here. The difference is this is what, like when we were learning transformations, as it would have been inside the parentheses, this would move our square root function to the right 1, whereas this one would move our square root function down 1. And in this case, remember all parent functions, their main starting point is going to be that 0, 0. It did not go to the right. It did go down 1. So your answer would be our choice B, or second choice set. But the big misconception is most students are not paying attention to that square root bar and the length of it extending completely over in the first set versus not completely over in the second. And as we know, transformationally, that makes a very big difference, whether that might be our what we call the H value or the K value. All right, more EOC style questions, guys. So we definitely want to make sure we have these under our belt and understand what's going on. This is f of 7. So this is when x equals 7. Which one of these functions do we want to use? So is 7 less than 1? No, so that's no good. Does 7 fall between 1 and 6? No, so that's no good. Is 7 greater than 6? Yes. So then you're going to look over here to see if there's a function. It says that when x is greater than 6, our output will be 4. There's no x attached to that, so the answer is just that, 4. And you're done. You're out. It's a gift. You just got to make sure you pick the right domain. All right. I started this guy because, again, this one came directly from one of the released EOCs as well from the state. So we're going to do f of -4 plus f of 3. So we need to figure out which domain does -4 fall in. Is -4 less than -3? It is, because it is to the left of -3. So we know we're going to use this one for our first f of -4. So that's -2 times a -4 minus 4. Then we're going to add that to f of 3. 3 is not less than -3. 3 does not fall between -3 and 2. 3 is greater than 2. So we're going to use this third function for f of 3. So -3 minus 3 squared. So ultimately, instead of this being a pot, because these guys all have to be solved, and then we're going to add them together. So -2 times a -4 is going to give me a +8 minus 4 gives me a +4. See if I can move this guy. Yep, +4. And then we're going to add that to what we finish over here. 3 minus 3 is 0. 0 squared is 0. If we make a 0 negative, it makes no difference. So our answer for this one is also 4. All right, guys, that's a couple problems. Like I said, please email me, ask me questions, reach out. These are going to be on your EOC. You need to know how to do